Are your labs normal? What is normal? Let's talk about that for just a moment. Hello everyone, semi-retired Bob here. I talk about the carnivore diet, all things related to the carnivore diet, and miscellaneous odds and ends. Today we're going to talk about lab results. What's normal, what's not, or more importantly, how did they decide what normal is? First off, for those of you new to the channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. You may be asking yourself, Bob, what in the world are we watching here? Well, basically you're watching me walk. I know that doesn't sound exciting, but 17 months ago I couldn't do this. I could barely stand for 2 to 2.5 minutes without severe pain. Now I'm out here walking every day. So I'm hoping that you can help me out to spread the word that it's never too late to change your life. I'm 60 years old, and I've gone from barely being able to stand up to out here walking every day and doing lots of fun stuff. So go ahead and give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Any interaction with the channel helps. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. It's absolutely free, and it does really help the channel get the word out that it's never too late to change your life. Drop down in the comments, say hi, Bob. Thanks a bunch, I appreciate it. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back. It does mean an awful lot to me that you choose to spend just a little bit of your day with me every day. I'm not going very far, and I'm not going very fast today. Because as you've seen in my last two videos, I played ball with a very active dog for several hours on Monday. And then yesterday, I went to the zoo, spent several hours at the zoo walking around, and then played ball with Rudel some more. And then after my friends left to head south, I went to dance class. So I've had a pretty busy couple of days. And I'm just kind of resting up a little bit today because tomorrow, as you can see, there's lots of leaves down. The trees aren't empty yet, but if I let it get all the way ahead of me, I'll never get them ground up. So I'm going to get the mower out tomorrow and grind up some leaves. So hopefully I don't have to rake anything this fall. We'll see what happens. But anyway, let's jump right on into this thing. How do they come to tell us what normal is for labs? Obviously, because, medicine is all science-based. There's a bunch of guys standing around in long white lab coats, performing lots of studies on various different populations to figure out what normal for each individual lab might be. Obviously, that's how they do it, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't tell us that this lab needs to be this result, or you've got something messed up, if they hadn't done extensive research on it, right? I mean, it's common sense. Obviously, if they're telling you something is normal, they've got a lot of research to back it up, right? Yeah, not so much, which is why I'm not so worried about labs. What they actually do, as I understand it, now remember, I'm just an old retired truck driver, but the way I understand it, when they come up with normal lab results, the way they do that is they call up several of their doctor friends that are, in the loop, so to speak, and say, hey, we want to evaluate this test. So could you send us all the lab results that you did over the last month or two on this test? So they collect all of that data, and they map it out on a bell curve, and they pick the middle of the bell and say, that's the normal result. And that sounds like a good way to do stuff, but let's think about this for a minute. We are carnivores. We don't eat the highly inflammatory standard Western diet. And I know some of you are keto, and that's fine. Some of you are ketovore. Some of you are just basic low carb. But we don't fall into the normal distribution of the bell curve, do we? Do we really want to be compared to people that went to a place that sells chili dogs, and that's what they had for lunch, chili dogs and fries, and then they went out to eat for dinner and got, I don't know, burgers and fries, or even if they're trying to eat healthy, they got a big taco salad with lots of tortilla chips, salsa, or they had a milkshake, or they cooked at home. Whatever it was, but you know, they had a great big sugary dessert. We don't know what they had. That's the point. The point is that we have no idea what diet everyone in that normal distribution curve had to eat. So what I'm saying is that to understand what our labs actually ought to be, we need to have, you know, several lab results from several thousand carnivores and just plot those on a normal distribution curve. And that will give us a more realistic value of what normal lab results are. The whole point of going over this today is to encourage you to not get freaked out by one lab result. If you go to the doctor and they run some labs and you've got this one thing that's way out of whack, first of all, is it repeatable? You know, is your lab X that far out of whack every time? And does it actually mean anything that lab X is that far out of whack every time? I don't know. I wish I had an answer to that. But I suspect it doesn't really mean anything. You know, yes, there are some diseases out there that diet may or may not help a lot, but I believe proper diet helps everything. I'm a classic example of proper diet helping everything. So just don't get freaked out on one doctor visit with one or two labs, what they consider way out of whack. If you want to do some more reading on this subject, there is a book out there called Common Sense Labs by Dr. Barry and Kim Howerton. And it is available on Amazon. I believe I've got a link in my video description to that. But that book has what labs they think you should get and what the normal ranges are, and in some instances they tell you what they think the normal ranges should be. So it's worth checking out, but my personal feeling is don't get super excited if a lab goes crazy on you and it's just one time, because we don't know. So as I've always said, if you're feeling fine and nothing's falling off, you're probably okay. I mean, our grandparents didn't go to the doctor and get labs all the time. And I can tell you that my grandmother lived to be 106. She was a dairy farmer for most of her life. I don't know. That's what I've got for you today, folks. Hopefully some of what I said made sense to you. Don't forget, get out there, be 1% better. Today, tomorrow, every day. Have a great day, folks. I will see you in the next one.